Welcome back, guys. It's the end of another week and the end of another segment in the series that we're doing here, trying to determine the best, the most dominant, the most OP, and potentially even the most broken tanks of every class in every tier. We're working on tier 4 and we have reached SPGs. It's been a long week. I'm tired and it's been a lot of work. Now, we got to the SPGs and look at this here, guys. There's only been 10. There's only been one page of replays submitted. I guess a lot of people are not playing tier 4 SPGs, or not loading their games. So there's not a lot of analysis to go through here, but SPG players are people too. So let's just sort what we've got. Strompanzer had the highest damage game for an SPG at tier 4. We sorted by damage. We'll watch that game. The Strompanzer. Second highest damage game, AMX 105. And then an assortment of others. The SU, the PZ 4B, the Strompanzer is next. The SU, the PZ, and then this guy, and then the Birch gun at the bottom. At least the British artillery made it into. Now, at the low tier, let's just watch the games. We'll watch the top two games and talk about the results and the series. I'm tired, guys. It's been a lot of work this week. My recording computer, I have two computer setups. I have one for actually just recording the video and streaming, which is a very good computer. So when I stream and I record the videos, I get very high quality, as you can see. But then I copy the files and I load them onto a different computer for the video editing. I got a separate setup. And my Patreons have been so generous in supporting me monthly that I'm able to upgrade my equipment constantly. And it may be time now to upgrade the video editing computer setup that I have. Why do I have two setups? It's a long story. I don't want to be doing the video editing and on the computer that I'm playing the games. It's a long story. It's a long story. And I travel with the editing computer, so I can record some replays sometimes and play and stream and leave my studio set up. And sometimes I travel when I go places. I record the actual video, and then I pack my video, the video editing computer, and I can travel somewhere and do the commentary and the editing and add the music and do that. The computer I travel with, the computer I do all my editing on, is acting up, and I'm going to have to invest in a new one. So I've had a lot of problems getting the series out in its entirety, but here we are. And SPG play are people too, and we're going to watch the top two SPG games, but it seems like, well, there's not a lot that... Let's just chat for this video, shall we? There's not a lot to learn here for tier 4 SPGs. It's mainly people play the low tier SPGs to get to the high tiers. The important thing is, which line do you go down? That's what most people want to know. Because grinding SPGs is actually slower than grinding anything else. At least I've found. Maybe I just suck, but I typically, on average, get less XP. And when you look at how much XP is required to get the next one, it's a lot. So it takes a lot to grind to tier 10 in SPGs. And people want to go down what they think is the best line. And there's nothing here to learn at tier 4. There's not a lot of games loaded on the website we've used to find the extreme games. And there's not a lot of statistics at the low tier SPGs. And in reality, the low tier SPGs are pretty much all crap. Yeah, they're okay. You learn a little bit about how to play an SPG, but they don't start dominating or affecting the game as much until you get to about, well, tier 5. Tier 5 and 6, all of a sudden, they jump in the importance and how much they can affect the game and how much damage they do as a proportion to the HP of the tanks of that tier. And if you want to see how much tier 5 SPGs and tier 6 SPGs and even tier 7 SPGs can impact the game, then watch my videos, the Broken Tank series here, for the tier 5 and tier 6 especially SPGs. You watch those two videos and you'll see, holy shit, you would not believe that a tier 5 SPG could do that much damage and could roll shot for shot that high. When you look at the HP that a tank has, and then how much an SPG could roll for. And I would submit to you that tier 9 and 10 SPGs do lower damage as a proportion of the overall HP they're shooting at than the tier 5s and 6s. So the tier 5s and 6s as a class are broken in themselves in this game, I think. They do too much damage. The tier 5 SPGs do too much damage per shot, so do the tier 6s. As a proportion of HP, right? At the low tiers, tier 4, tier 3, the big thing is most of the SPGs, well, I don't know if I don't know for sure, but I know that there's very little splash damage. If you miss your shots at the low tiers, let's watch this shot here. Take your shot. Now you hit him. Critical hit. That's not bad. Doing an actual hit and he rolled for a little over 100 at this tier, that's pretty balanced, right? You can say, okay, well, a tank has, I don't know, 400, 500, 600 HP. You hit him, you do 100. That's not broken. Yeah, you know, there's some medium tanks that hit that hard. That Italian, the P, what is it, 2640? You can hit people for 120, 130, 140. But then you go to tier 5 and you take a shot with an American SPG. And let's see this shot here. He missed. Oh, you know he hit. A critical hit. Another, 100 and whatever damage. You take some shots with the tier 5 SPG and you hit someone. You roll for 600. What? And you might be matchmaked against tier 5s. You might hit a tier 5 tank for 480. That's stupid, right? The amount of damage jumps too much at tier 5 and 6, in my opinion. And this video is not about complaining about SPGs. They're in the game, and some people really enjoy playing SPGs. This is the No Bullshit channel. I give you my opinion and what I think. At the low tiers like this, a miss does not do very much damage. This could be good. This could be good. Let's see this. Boom. Well, when you hit someone with no armor and you actually penetrate. That guy was detected and he did not move. Now you'd think when you watch SPG replays, and I'm showing you guys these replays, what you see now that missed and probably did 0 because there's very little splash radius at the low tier. Which I think is good. You don't want to inundate the low tiers with powerful SPGs and shit on people right from the beginning as they're just starting the game, right? Or people would stop playing. They go, fuck that. Or everyone would play just SPGs. And that's why I don't understand the big bump. Ooh, that was a hit. The big bump at tier 5. It really, really ruins tier 5 and 6 gameplay. I'm digressing again here, but when you launch a tier 5 or tier 6 game and you see 3 SPGs per side, it's a shit show, right? It's almost not worth playing if it's on an open map and you're driving some sort of a heavy, slow tank. It's stupid, but what was I going to say? I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, I tell you like it is. I think that there should be, you should limit the amount of SPGs per side to 1 or possibly 2. And they should nerf the damage done by tier 5 and 6. I think the high tiers are probably okay, as long as there's not 3 per side. Look at these shots. And so the main thing people want to know when they start... Oh yeah, I remember what I was saying. Yeah, what we're learning by watching these SPG replays, my mind is wandering, guys. It's been a long week. From me watching them and from you watching them, what you should glean from them, even if you don't like or don't want to ever play SPGs, is you should learn that the people that get hit over and over and over again and die, as you'll see in all of these replays that I show of SPGs, are invariably the players that go somewhere and park and never move. And it's as simple as that. If you don't like SPGs and you don't like getting hit by SPGs, then don't just sit still. It's not rocket science. This guy moved, you see, he missed. Now, I'm not saying he tried to, he's a Muppet. He rammed himself to death. That's not the point. We did just see a Muppet ram himself to death. That's true. But I'm making the point that he moved and he didn't get hit. Now look at this. 1,354 damage. Am I reading that right? Well done at tier 4. And that's pretty good. Second highest game. You know, I'm saying that amount of damage at tier 4, that's okay. That's all right. You know, that's not broken as a class. Now, if we'd seen, well, there's not a lot of people loaded replays here, but I would hope that at tier 4, you're not going to see SPG games, you know, people doing 3,800 damage, for Christ's sakes. Highest damage game. For what it's worth, the Strompanzer. Hey, and incidentally, that was Hito Mikol, who played the AMX 105 that we just watched. Shout out to you, buddy. And Argoth now is playing the Strompanzer. The Strompanzer. So, what most people are interested in, the casual players, not the people that have every tank in the game. You guys, you know, you're probably not even watching this because you're bored now. Because you know all this. You're Unicons, right? But for people that want some advice, what most people are interested in is knowing, well, which SPG line should I go down? Because it takes so long. You can't do them all. Most normal people that have lives. And I would have to say, my opinion, and you can agree or disagree with me in the chat, my opinion is that the best SPG line in the game overall for every tier. Now let's watch this shot first. He's got it fully aimed. Just shoot. Shoot. You're not going to do damage unless you shoot. That was very nice. But see, even a hit on 2 people, he only damaged one of them for 134. That's balanced in my opinion. Okay, the best SPG line in the game, by far, in my opinion, is the American. If you're just going to go down one line, go down the American. Every tier. Once you get to tier 5 and up, they're all enjoyable to play. As far as SPGs go, they all are fairly accurate. They all do a lot of damage per shot. They're all fairly mobile until you get to... Ho, 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 ho! Well, that is a little OP, my friend. He's probably pretty happy about that. The Strompanzer, German power! Just as I said, they were balanced. See, that's one that shouldn't happen, in my opinion. Did that guy have fun? You know, but to be fair, on the opposite side, if you sit still, if you don't move, and I don't know why you didn't aim that shot at the tank. Why did you aim that shot in front of the tank? I don't know. I guess he wanted to miss. If you sit still, you're gonna get hit. You know, and these guys, they sit still all game, they get hit, and they say, oh, I hate SPGs. Well, if you get hit once, then say, oh, shit, I hate SPGs, and then move. See, that guy moved just a little. That's how it should be. He missed and only did 7 damage. Anyway, the American, in my opinion, is the best by far. Klaus, what about the British one? Well, some people like the British one. I don't. I don't like the British one. They're solid, right? They're solid. They do a lot of damage. The very weakness of the British one is touted as being a strength by some, in my opinion. The strength of the British SPGs is the high shell arc, goes way up in the air and comes down, so you can hit people behind cover. You know, better than some of the other SPGs. They're behind a rock like this. You might be able to loop the shot over the rocks and hit them, which is a strength. According to most, that's a strength, and it is a strength. But it is also a weakness because the shell takes much longer to get there, which it translates into, like, if you're fighting people that are not Muppets, and it's almost true that as you get higher and higher, by the time you get to tier 8, 9, and 10, you'd think that people have learned and they're slightly less Muppet-like than at tier 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Although that is debatable, it's not true. There are Muppets at tier 10. But generally what I see is at tier 9 and 10, people have learned that if they're facing SPGs, if there's multiple SPGs in the game, or at least, like, think about this, guys, it's not fucking rocket science. If you're at tier 10 and you look at the matchmaker and you look at the enemies and you see 3 British SPGs, if you're playing tier 10 and you see 3 conquer gun carriages on the enemy team. If you see that on your screen, then you'd think you'd be smart enough once you're detected to not sit still for 15 seconds. Okay? If you're stupid enough after you get detected to sit still behind a rock and say, I wonder if they didn't see me. If you're that stupid, then you deserve to get shot by all fucking 3 of them. And that's my my rant about SPGs. Just look at the lineup. Oh, there's 3. Oh, they're British. Oh, they'll hit me if I sit still. They'll click the button. It'll take 6 seconds for the shell to arrive here. Oh, my 6th sense gone off. I still have 3 seconds to move. Now, if you're not a moron, the British SPGs are not that good. But unfortunately, there are a lot of morons that play that still don't understand that, and they sit still and they get hit. And when the British SPG hits you, it does a lot of damage, and they rage and they hate SPGs. I hate SPGs. I want to sit still in this bush for 13 minutes. Fuck. I got detected, and 22 seconds later I got hit. And then I didn't move, and 38 seconds later I got hit again. Like, duh. But I digress. So, yes, if you're of the opinion that even up to level 10, the game is infested with Muppets that refuse to learn or change their ways, then the British SPGs are good. In my opinion, the American ones are the best. And also, an opinion that is not shared by most, I think the Russian SPGs are fantastic. They are the best at counter SPGs, especially at the high tiers. They have the lowest shell arc, so the shell gets there the fastest, which makes them not as effective in city maps or when there's cover, which is true. But on open maps, if you're playing the Russian SPG and you want a counter battery and you hover over the known SPG locations, because it's pretty typical where SPGs go, and you see that tracer, and like for instance you're playing and you notice that your opposing SPG is the T90, the American one, big and slow, and you're playing the Russian one on an open map, and you're counter battering and you see the tracer, you see the tracer and you pull the trigger, you're hovered over there, you see the tracer, you adjust your aim and pull the trigger quickly, your shell will arrive guaranteed before he can move. If you're fired from the Russian SPG, the shell trajectory is so low, the shell velocity, the time it takes to get there is almost as quick as if you fired it from a medium tank. So counter battery, best line is Russian, unless you're in Himmelsdorf. Then you can't hit shit in the Russian one, right? So there's pros and cons. Speed, the French ones. But that's where it ends. If you're playing the French SPG, big whoop-de-doo. You can go cap at the end of the game because you're fast, but you can do barely any damage because the guns are so small. They've nerfed them to shit. You can auto-load the French one, and that guy just drove into the shot. That poor guy moved to say, Klaus, you told me to move, and I got hit anyway. Well, shit happens, buddy. Now look at this. He doesn't have the range. He's in the middle of the map, and he doesn't have the range to... that's another thing about these low-tier SPGs, some of them. Look, he's in the middle of the map, and he does not... You see that? His circle, his aim circle is no longer a circle. It's that weird-looking... That's because he's out of range. You've got to move up now. And this is another problem with the British SPGs, even when you get to the higher tiers. At tier 10, on some maps, the British SPG cannot counter battery unless he moves up. And if he moves up, he'll get detected and die. So that's if you're playing an SPG and you notice your counterpart is British, and it's one of those maps where you have to stay on the red line, you don't have to worry about counter battery. He doesn't have the range. You got to learn this shit, okay? And at the middle tiers, the British SPGs have such shit range that they have to move to the middle of the map to shoot anything. So if you want a counter battery, you can't hover over the red line. You won't see the tracers. You got to hover over the middle. And there's certain spots that the British SPGs have to go to on some maps to move up. They usually find a rock or a ridge line and hide behind it and hope that they don't get detected. Then the German SPGs, they hit hard, but they're so freaking slow. At the high tiers I'm talking about. There's a sweet spot for the German ones. It looks like this is a sweet spot right here, the Strompanzer. You watch my SPG tier 6 and see some German power. The German SPG. Oh! I sat still, and now I know what the reload time is of the German Strompanzer. If you get hit once, okay, here, I'll give you some advice. If you're a Muppet and you want to do this test, and you don't want to look up it on the wiki or in your garage, and you don't know what the reload time is of an SPG, this is what you do. Let's say you log into a game and you see an FV305 or an SPG or a T or an M5355, the American Tier 9, and you're playing, you're sitting still, and you get hit, right? Boom! You get hit for 400. You don't know the reload time? This is what you do. Just sit still and don't move, and start your iPhone stopwatch, and stare at that, and then when you get hit again, then press stop, and then look at your iPhone. That's the reload time. That's how clueless some players are, right? They'll get hit. It'll tell them, you just got hit by an M53, M55. You got hit for 480 damage. Let me sit still here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 28, 29. Boom! Oh, I got hit again! Oh, 29-second. I guess that guy's running a gun rammer. It's not rocket science, guys. For all of you SPG haters, learn to play. Get good. And yes, sometimes you still may get trolled. Yes, you still will get one shot. Yes, sometime, but it won't be as often. It won't be as often. Trust me. I've played some SPG games, and what the tendency is, if you see an enemy that's moving a lot, you tend to go, oh, this guy knows what he's doing, and you ignore him. You go concentrate on it because there's other people you can hit. Right? So if you just start moving, usually the SPG says, oh, this guy knows what he's doing, and then they leave you. They don't start following you. They start aiming at your Muppet teammates that aren't moving. So even sometimes moving, you're not avoiding getting hit. You're just, the SPG on the enemy team is going to say, forget about him. He knows what he's doing. He's moving. I'll aim at this idiot over here who's been sitting still for the last 2 minutes. So just move. Now let's watch this game. Argoth, you're having the game of your life. It's 13-13. He's in the middle of the map. He's got a teammate. There's 2 enemies here. This is very interesting. This is a good game. This is a good tier 4 SPG game. It's a great way to end the week. I'm tired. It took me a long time to record these because my stupid computer was acting up. I had to restart and I gotta get a new system, I guess. But it's the end of another great week, and I thank you all for sticking with it and watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys have enjoyed this series, please subscribe and help the channel. Ooh, he missed. We're on the drive for 75. The long, hard drive to get to 75,000 subscribers. With your help, hopefully we can make it. Thank you, guys. And now let's watch the ending here. It's time to relax a little bit. Take a little bit of the edge off. Is he going to win? Is he going to win? It's still 2v2. This is exciting. He's got a good teammate who is going to spot for him. Oh. Yes, he's marked the ground. Will it go in? Take your time. Take your time. Boom. Yes. RNG says yes. Oh, boy. This is great. This is great. Let's roll the music. And you'll get to see how the end clip ends here as well. Stay tuned. It's exciting. And relaxing. I love you all. And I thank all of you that tuned in all week and over the years so that we could spend this time together and have fun watching this silly little game that we play. Yeah, let's see what the reload time is of this. This guy can sit still and we'll count it down. How long does it take for an SPG to reload? All you have to do is sit still, start your stopwatch, and when you get hit again, That's how long. Now he knows the reload time. Strumpanzer, driven by Argath. Beautiful game, buddy. 2,400 damage. 8 kills. That was fun. That was fun. I had a great time this week, guys. I hope you did as well. Thank you so much, everyone who has subscribed or will, and who has watched. I appreciate it, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow, and we'll just close it out here with this end clip. You'll finally get to see how it truly ends. I love these clips. Enjoy, and I'll catch you tomorrow.